I'm going to make a start by putting the wall plate all around the tops. I'll just try and explain what I'm going to try and achieve is all the 4 posts. I'm going to put a timber around the top, which obviously the roof will connect to all the way around, and using the corner posts, they're going to be the outlets for like the guttering. It's going to be like a gutter on the internal of the roof sort of thing. I've got the timber lengths cut. I'm just going to mark up for the half laps. I'm going to do a timber joint on the corners. I'll show you the way I do them. So obviously that's the thickness of the wood. We'll square down there, square down there, and then what I'll do is I'll set my router so it's half and half, route around to give me the perfect line, and then we'll do some saw cuts across and just chisel it out and do the shoulder cut there by hand. So that's marked the depth of a cut all the way around. So now I've got the half lap to somewhere close. I'll just finish it off with this, like a 30 grit, I think it is, 36 grit sandpaper ink grinder, and just like so I can just fine tune it, make it lovely and flat, and then we'll do the same on all other pieces. Right, we're finally finished cutting the half laps now, so I just need to carefully now mark where the 2 shorter pieces will sit and connect onto the square post, and then we'll have to maybe route like a bit of a trench out for it to slot over. So what I'm doing here, I just need to make a little jig to be able to cut the circle out for us pipes to go in, because I'm going to use a plastic inside the box section for the rainwater. We've got jig clamps on now. I'm just going to router this out nice and steady, keep plunging it down. So now I've got all those holes drilled in the shorter pieces. I'm just going to make one more jig to do the rebate where the small pieces slot over the 4 box sections. So with this one here, I'm just going to literally place the jig on and rebate it down, maybe about 1/4 inch, because I think when the pipe goes in I need somewhere to fix the pipe to. So they seem to fit okay. I think the last one I put on, the welds must have just pulled the post in ever so slightly, so I just knocked like a timber in just to spread it out. It were only like 1/4 of an inch short. No, well, not even that, probably about 1/8 or something. So while the glue's drying on the wall plates, I thought I'd make a start on what I'm going to try and do is where the outlets are, the holes we've like routed into the wall plate. I'm going to try and make a metal mould to pour some molten lead in to make the like outlet spouts. So let's give it a go. So I've just mounted this plate, and this is the bottom plate. That's in 4-jar chuck. I'm just going to drill an hole in the centre. And I just need to machine the hole to the size of that what we've machined, so that fits in. Right, so we've got all parts machined now for the little mould, if you want to call it. So we're just going to drop back now and just router the other holes out on the wall plate because the glue's dry now. So using the same jig, we're going to router the corners out, but using a smaller router cutter. Now we've got all the holes cut out, I'm just going to go around now with a chamfer cutter. We don't need any guide, any jig, because there's like a bearing on the cutter which will follow the circle to put a chamfer all the way around it. Hopefully it'll marry up with his mould. So what we'll have to do next is, once see how his mould turns out, and I'll have to rebate like a flat piece out so the mould sits in lovely and flush. I'm just going to make a start by welding this in position, and I'll keep welding all the bits together. So that's alright, is that? So I think what I'll do is, before we pour some like molten lead in, I'll probably just like get some like emery cloth and really like polish it out inside so it don't like stick, if you know what I mean. It don't like, and also this nut here, if I take that nut out, that middle section will come out. So fingers crossed when we pour some in. Worth a try, isn't it? And just before we put welder away, I like to, as I'm making things over time, with all the scrap pieces I get out of, I'll make these kind of things also. So I'm just going to weld these on